Good morning. It's Friday morning. It's painting time. This needs to sit there. Hello, iPad. Okay, that was the password, but okay. Oh god, where is this painting? Reference image? Oh, this is all photos. I need to go to favorites. Favorites. That's better. We have a 16-month resub from Strawberry Hearts and 26 from Sappy Bee. Thank you both. Good morning. We're working on this painting today. Good morning. And it is painting time. Oh. I really need to, my back needs to pop. I didn't see any of the glitchiness. Is that this year's Extra Life? No, this was the 15th year one. I don't remember which year this was. They don't always have the year on them. Pop? Like crack. Like... That was better. This is 23? Okay. So we're working on this painting today, and I forgot how good it looked. But I'm also surprised how gray it looks. And then now that I stare at it a little bit longer, I can see the brown underneath that we first painted. But everything is way more gray, because I looked down at my palette, and it's quite brown on the palette. So that was kind of surprising. That's better. Get all the chalk off. Surprised by your own brilliance. I mean, sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, wait, I did this? No, someone came in and painted while I was gone. So we do have more to paint. There's more of this like dappled leaf thing going on. Like a lot more of it. And then I decided that this is basically a grease-eye. So we're going to do color washes on top. Because like some of these bright areas should be more blue. And then some of them should be more green. So we're going to kind of do washes of those colors on this. And then we'll bring some of the bright white highlights back on top, especially like this area where they're very concentrated. Because this is, if you haven't been here, because Anise is like, I don't think I've seen any of this painting. This is based off a photo I took inside of a camera Obscura at the North Carolina Art Museum. So it's basically this little stone hut that's in the woods on the grounds of the art museum, and you can stand in it. This is the door, and there's like benches around it on the inside. And you sit inside this dark space, and there's a tiny hole in the roof. And on sunny days, it acts as a giant camera and projects the sky down onto the ground. So that's what it is. And so you go in through the door, and then you just kind of wait for a long time until your eyes adjust, and then you can see it. And actually, the roof of it, if you like look up while you're in the room, you can see there's different lenses. So there's a piece of metal that slides back and forth, and you can do like a smaller aperture of the hole if it's like sunny. And if it's not as sunny, you can do the bigger hole, so more light comes in. When I was in high school and took photography for the first time, my teacher turned one of the little offices inside of the photography classroom into a camera Obscura, and he made us go like sit in the room forever until the major part of the classroom that there was came through the tiny little aperture hole that he had put on the glass and projected on the back wall. They're kind of neat. It's basically a giant camera. It's basically a giant version of how your eyeballs work. This is the exhibit, this is the pathway, open the door and see all the artwork. The thing as a whole is the artwork. It's called Cloud Chamber, I think. It's in the middle of the woods. You have to kind of like hike for a little bit to get to it. Like half a mile maybe. So we're gonna continue this. Basically there's like different layers of brightness for these dappled leaves because it's the dappled leaves getting projected down. And then once that's done, we can do the washing. And one of my neighbors is doing lawn care again, like they do every Friday, it seems to be. All right, what do I want to do? I think I want to make this more brown and do another layer. Friday lawn care. They have the best timing. This is their Friday me time. This is the Rock Children, by the way, if you've been around and hear stories of our neighbors. Maybe that will be less of a thing at the new place. Don't know. Not sure. You like my hair clippy? Thank you. I have two. This one was pink, and it was fine. I just wanted silver. The Rock Children is a great band name. These are the children who do a lemonade stand, and sometimes they sell rocks. Lemonade and rocks, what a store. They're very entrepreneurial. I don't remember what brush I was using last week. I remember not liking any of them because there's like 15 brushes out. So we're going to go with the silver one. And basically, I'm just adding more layers to this. This may be enough. After this layer, I may think that's enough to do the washing and bring the color in. We'll see. They can get rich selling things that are usually free. That's the best way to do it. I should have probably started in the corner so my hand wasn't in the way of everything. We'll start up here. Getting a head start on their MLM. Gonna need 2 burr emotes, one in all caps for the garage and one in lowercase for the lawnmower. Burr loud and burr low. I am adding a little bit to this. And I think I need some titanium white on my palette. Actually, I don't. I have more of this beige. We will use that beige. Burr has increased. Approaching house. Because I think... yeah, we need some more brighter parts over here. But I think I need to stick with the original color first, because all it's doing is mixing the two together on the palette, and that's not really what we need. I'm also noticing that I have trouble with foreshortening always. It's one of the things I'm always working on for myself. And I'm trying to make this look less flat and more foreshortened as it should be. Looks very night vision-y, very film exposure-y. This is based on a photo I took inside of a camera Obscura. So it's all dappled leaves, essentially. That's where I put this. Need a little bit more glazing liquid to make it slightly more transparent. Last week after I finished streaming, I was washing out brushes and washing out water containers. And there was a really interesting song that came up, and I believe it was a Carlos song. I don't remember which one, but it had like an announcer voice in it. Like something you might hear if you were sitting at an airport. I think I know what you're talking about. It threw me off because the sink I have is right over there. I was like, what is that? Okay, so remember how I was like, this might be enough layers, I don't need another one. I do need at least one. How did I enjoy the new curb game? I mean, I liked it. It's basically Forgotten Lands as it is. It's just more. And that's nice. Forgotten Lands was fun. So if you liked Forgotten Lands, you are in luck. There is more. If you buy Kirby Forgotten Lands Nintendo 2 Switch Edition, new version with extra the longest game title in a while. One day they'll hire someone who can name things. I can name things. Chaz is really good at naming things. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit more highlights in this. And that's fine. That's something I can do on my next layer. Actually, I don't like that one. The other thing I'm considering doing is after I do the washes for the grease eye, when I start bringing in the color, I kind of want to take some black and darken up some of these shadows just a little bit, so there's some depth to that as well. Not much, just a little bit. That line where the wall hits the ground there still bothers me, so I keep messing with it. I keep going back and trying to add more. We have a 9-month resub from Rock. Hello, good morning. I'm grease eye painting this morning. And this part is where the most focus is of the lights. So that part I'm trying to just keep as circles and not let it be as blurry as everything else. I hope that comes across in the end, like the final piece, you can actually tell. We shall see. If not, I think it'll look fine. It's just not, it may not do the effect I want. Okay, I'm happy with that. Let's do the sides, and then we'll bring in the lighter color that I said I need, and then we might be able to do a wash. We might do some testing on paper. Because this will need to dry. And I will definitely need to bring in some of the black layers, as I talked about, to darken it, because it's not really... There's no depth to the background. So it needs to get darkened with some black. Did I see the Packers fleece the Cowboys for one of the best players in the league that isn't a quarterback? I saw something about Packers signing someone, but I didn't know anything about it. I think I'm gonna add a little bit of the wall in over here as well. Yeah, just to round that out. Defense is gonna be so good next year. Hope so. Maybe we'll get to go to the Super Bowl again. I saw that the Eagles are playing the Packers at Lambeau, and I have family with season tickets. And I was about to ask them if I could have two, so Noah and I could go and be just absolute chaos, but it doesn't work for our schedules, and that is very sad. Chaos Squad. It would have been so fun. Abandon all responsibilities and go to game. But the responsibilities are fun ones I get to do instead. Okay, do the fun ones. Next time. Maybe they'll play in Philly and it'll be easier to go to. Oops. Okay, just this part. All right, that's all of that. Stay there. I have to wash a brush. Don't fall over. So I'm going to add a little bit more highlights. And then probably darken some of the dark areas. And then we'll do some testing. First, I'm going to have some water because I have the hiccups. All right. A little bit more highlights. So I'm going to use a brighter color. Just do a little bit of that. Do we want to paint sideways maybe? Oh, that's not fun. Nope. Stay there. We're going to give that a minute. And in the meantime, we're going to prep our test paper. Did I do any testing for this? I surely didn't. Nope. Okay. You are going to fall, and that's going to be bad. So you are going to move temporarily to the floor. We're going to move to paper and get our test ready. Sometimes I'm really good about using the sketchbook, and sometimes I'm just not. But I suppose sometimes it's more of an experiment, and I'm willing to not really do as much testing. All right, there's our burnt umber. And now we gotta let that dry, because of course we do. But I suppose I could just kind of put some brighter areas in it, even if it's not quite the same. Because it'll still function, like, color-wise. Oh, this is a terrible brush for this. I hate that brush for this. Let's try this one. This one's also not great. Needs softer brush. This is not a soft brush. Soft brush. Soft brush? No. This deer foot is quite soft. Let's go with that. It is bristly though. It's very bristly. Where's all my rounds? Why do I only have flats? None of these are cooperating. And I don't want to use the brush I've been using because I want it to stay nice and not get filled in with random paint, because I will need it in a minute. So we're going to deal. And we're just going to accept it. Use a sponge? Maybe. That might work better. Nothing is cooperating. That's good enough for a test, I think. So that needs to dry next. I might add some of the darker layer into this while I'm waiting on the painting to dry, because I need that to be super dry. And how do I want to do that? I think I'm going to start by trying shading gray. So this is just a transparent black. So this is essentially it. It's just transparent. So I can go back in on the shadow parts of this. And it may not be dark enough on this, because I think the actual canvas is a little bit darker. And then I can go with some Mars Black and make it even darker. Can you see how dark that gets in the top corner? It's noticeable in person, because it's quite brown in person. And this is like this dark next to that. That's not a bad test. Move test over there. Grab painting back. And we're gonna add, I might start with the shadow color because I have it out before it gets all dried out. We'll do that, I think. The thing that's really throwing me off right now is this color is so much glossier than what I have down already. And once I varnish the painting, it'll all be the same finish. So that won't matter. But boy, it is very different right now. So in the right sheen, I can see exactly where I'm putting this. How are you doing despite the chaos, I mean? Fine. I mean, the chaos has not been great. It's fine. Mifa are on fire. Once there's some like concrete stuff happening, I think I'll feel better. I think that will help. Great phone case? Yeah, I think that would look really cool. I'm realizing I am going to have to do this on the bottom of the canvas. And I don't particularly want to right now because it's going to have to sit and dry. So let's do that first. And then hopefully by the time it gets back around, it will be dry. Because I'm not really doing a ton of layers on this. It's a very thin layer just to darken up some of it. I feel like the sides did not get as dark as the face of the canvas. Something I have to fix right there. I didn't extend the door up when I painted it. I just kind of left it wrapped around the canvas. Or not wrapped. Have I listened to the New World is a Beautiful Place album? I have. There's a few songs on it I really like. Actually, I was just talking to Kyle, my brother-in-law Kyle, about it. Okay, now I can do the highlights on this. And then, this is dry enough to test. And wash out all my brushes. I have that one in the spiral notebook. I don't know. I think. Did I get an email about that this morning? Let's check while I wait a second. What am I doing? Email. Redbubble. 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 Search email. Did I delete it? Let's go look on their website. They are doing end of season sale up to 40% off tees and accessories. So some things are 40%, some things are less. And I don't know what is what. I'm not sure which things are 40% off. I was gonna say, I thought there was a Labor Day sale of some sort. All right, we're going to do a little bit brighter on some of these, and then it's not, Andrew's 40% off? Ooh, not everything. Some things. Whenever they do up to 40%, I feel like shower curtains tend to be 40. And like, that's the thing that's 40. I don't know what this one is. They change it up based on, I think, what they have available. So check what it is and see if that is something you are interested in. Okay, a couple more highlights. I should start up here. I need my photo. I'm painting from memory, which is sometimes fine and not always fine. And I'm finding that if I unfocus my eyes, it's a little bit easier. We have a 4-month resub from Space Cat Zero. Good morning. I hope everyone is having a good Friday. I was sitting outside on the porch this morning. I did not want to come inside to paint. Friday's a little sharper than any day has been, quite a little wobbly but sharp. Was it Sharp Day, Radio Dread? New Glasses Day? Oh. And when your prescription changes? Yeah. I can see how that would be sharp. They tried to increase mine this year. And he gave me a quarter step up in my contacts. And he's like, try these for a while and then let me know how you feel about it. He's like, because you're kind of in between. And I tried it and I was like, they just don't feel right. He's like, fair enough. I also hate the one that spits air into your eyes. Yeah, the air puff machine. I'd say I have about 2/3 done, right about to here. That's where my line is. I did kind of do down here. I'm really liking how this is looking. This is very much a trust the process experimental piece for me. And it's working. Okay. I will have to still bring in the bright white highlights, but because we're doing the wash over it, it's pointless right now. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the edges, and then we'll do some of the testing on the paper. Okay. So that is that. We're gonna set this somewhere else temporarily. And now we can do testing. This folded up on me. Dang it. There we go. Very carefully unfold the plastic and set that on top. All right. So for this wash, first I need to make my iPad screen not grayscale. Accessibility. Where was it in accessibility? Color filters off. Back to color. And now we can see how colorful, okay, maybe not on the screen, but it's way more colorful. Has my tag been sticking out? All right, so what kind of palette do I want to go for? In the photo, it's very, I don't know, it reminds me of like the 70s look. So all the colors are muted. Nothing is super saturated. So I think I'm gonna start with the blue. And I want to use everything very transparent. So I need to use things that are slightly more pure in pigment and not mixes. So like ultramarine would be great, but I do need to tone it down. So what is a good contrast color to ultramarine. It's gonna be orange, of course. But which orange? Pyrrole feels right. But I could also use umber because that is harmonious with my palette. Let's try. This is why I wanted to practice this. So if this is my blue, which is ultramarine and pyrrole, I don't think ultramarine's it. It's way more phthalo. Phthalo, which phthalo? Phthalo blue-green. Some of this is very gold, and I have to decide how I want that to look. Oh, this phthalo is so intense. And that got a little green. That feels better. Much better. So some of this it's a little blue. And because it is a camera obscura, it's pulling the blue from the sky. So the center of all of the bright parts is kind of essentially the sky. And the cool thing about doing a grisaille is I can bring in more layers to deepen the color. Like so. Because now it looks like there's a darker color and all I did was paint another transparent layer on top. So now I need to do something slightly more gold. And I think burnt sienna is not the answer. It's too orange. But burnt sienna with yellow ochre might be the answer. Yes, I think that is the answer. Now what's going to happen is because it's green and blue, sorry, it's yellow and blue, it's going to make green. And there should be some green because we have trees getting reflected. And I think I need to bring some green because even though it's sort of doing this visual mix, it's not doing it to the level I want it to. I think I really need to get this palette right. Because it's getting muddier than I want it to be. And like, I will be bringing in more of the highlights. Those didn't really go round, they kind of went sideways. So that will bring some of that back. So there's multiple layers here that are gonna happen yet. So I'm trying not to judge it too harshly, but I think the palette I have is not where I want it to be. So what do I want to do for that palette? I know if Vagabond were here, the answer would be saturation. But I'm trying not to do that. So that's why I'm thinking ochre. And it's a very pretty gold, naturally. So I'm thinking ochre. I should label these. It looks like it says other, but I did spell ochre wrong because it's R before E for ochre. But there is a C in there. So if I do ochre, let's look at greens. I need something not muddy. So I need yellow, green, and blue. Those are my 3 colors. And then we're going to get something in between each of those. So that's the plan here. I think, where did phthalo go? Phthalo? Did I put it away? I think phthalo blue green shade is the blue I need, but what's my green? Is it going to be phthalo green yellow shade? That might be my palette. Let's try that and see how I feel about that. So I'm going to do 2 gradients of these 5 colors. And I should have left some of my test open, and I didn't. That's fine. So we have yellow ochre. And then we're going to fade that into our phthalo green yellow. And then that's going to fade into phthalo green, which is super saturated. Whew, that's a lot. And then we're going to fade into phthalo blue, but not phthalo blue by itself. This is mixed in with the phthalo green. And then we have phthalo blue alone. That is too opaque. So that's kind of the gradient. What's the line between bold and whoa, turn that color down, or is it always context dependent? It's pretty context dependent. And like, that's a really pretty gradient. But is it too much? That's the real question. Is it too bright? And the thing is I can go even lighter with it. So what I probably should do is just make it more transparent, so it's not as intense, because then it will just visually mix with the grays on the painting. And that may take more layers, but it would work. So I'm gonna mix up, well, 3 I don't have to mix. I have to mix 2 of the 5. And then we're gonna do them even more transparent. I'm running out of palette space. Because the yellow ochre is kind of more of a muddy color. So like in here, I get a really nice toned down green. But I don't get that once we start getting into the phthalo, because the phthalo is not muddy and the yellow ochre isn't influencing the blue. So let's see, I have this space. I'm going to start by putting glaze down. This one had a little bit of blue in it. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to go into the green. And we're going to realize that we didn't go far enough. That's better. Now we can go into the phthalo green. and then phthalo blue-green. So that's lighter and better. My next question is, how does phthalo blue interact with the ochre? How do I feel about that green? Because if I can skip this middle green, then the blue can be influenced by the ochre and look muddier and less saturated. We need to do a full one. I'm detecting a bug. The problem is I'm out of glazing liquid and there's no space on this palette. That is the problem. So there's ochre. Oh, is that so bright? Oh, so bright. There's way too much blue up here, so imagine it kind of gets cut off here instead. I don't know how I feel about this. It may have to dry because the glazing liquid is like milky. Thank you, Radio Dread. Okay, so we are going to let that dry because the painting itself is not dry. Where's the plastic? Plastic has gotten stuck to everything. We need new plastic. She said confidently. Okay, painting. I am happy with the grease eye here, how this is looking. I think that looks nice. Now, all of these other colors need to go somewhere because they are going to make me forget exactly what I was doing. That's better. The grease eye looks really good. I just have to decide exactly how I'm doing the color. And it may change once it dries. Like, this isn't looking terrible. I did this really rough. I was just kind of tapping the brush so I get a lot of brush marks where this doesn't have that. So I think I need to look at it with fresh eyes and let things dry. Even if it doesn't look like the photo, the color scheme would look gorgeous. I agree. I just don't want it to be this saturated. I think this is too much. It's a pretty color scheme, yes. But I need it to be less muddy. I'm sorry, less saturated, more muddy. Because like this in here isn't half bad. Just this section. So that's something to try after it dries. But I can do lots of light layers, like this light, and build that up. It just will take longer because I will do a little bit and it'll have to dry. And then I'll do a little bit more and it'll have to dry. So let's start by doing this. And then let's talk about what's going on and what's coming up. I have a painting up for auction right now. The Winter Goldenrod piece, which I would grab, but I have paint on my hands, so I cannot go grab it. That piece is up for auction right now if you're interested in that. The funniest piece? Why is it the funniest piece? There is also merch for that, and it is up to 40% off on eBay this weekend, I believe. Auction ends for the true canvas, the actual canvas, on September 4th. Oh, he called it funny, that's right. Maybe my brain will come back after all of the moving stuff is done. I hope so, instead of fun. That's right. Tonight we are playing Mario Odyssey on Steven's channel. Join us for that. Monday evening, I'm going to be playing more of, what's it called? The game I was playing last week? I can picture the cover. Oh my god. See, Ghost Trick, thank you. I was thinking Detective Ghost, and that was not it. Mystery game, aka Ghost Trick. So I'll be playing more of that Monday night. Tuesday will be breakfast stream. I believe Steven's still playing Donkey Kong Bonanza on Wednesday. Detective Ghost. And next Friday morning we'll be painting some more. Putting some color on this canvas. Detective Trick of the Ghost variety. Alright, I hope everyone has a good Friday. I think I'm gonna go grab some groceries, drop some cake off for Chaz and Jeff. Maybe work on reading my book because I need to return it to the library. And I hope to see you all tonight for Mario Odyssey. The band cake. It was a very good cake. Alright everyone, have a good Friday and I will see you later tonight.